Hey everybody! Don't know how long the hat's gonna stay on tonight. I can see TJ is backstage and he's got his hat on too. So we might have dueling hats tonight on the stream. So Texas, you're saying you've got chunks of ice. Actually, we did have chunks of ice. Well, Steve had chunks of ice in his drink after we visited Scarefest and went to the Mongolian Grill in Lexington. He had like two Diet Cokes or Coke Zeros or whatever the heck he had, and I hear one of my dogs coming. It's Reggie. Reggie, are you gonna be on the stream tonight? No. Okay. So I will say that I had a great time at Scarefest, and I did get to meet Michael Berryman. Those people that are my friends on Facebook probably already saw the pictures of me with Michael Berryman, and I had him sign uh, the Hills Have Eyes soundtrack on record or vinyl, rather. Um, and I'll tell you, if you've never met Michael Berryman and you get a chance to, definitely go up and meet him because he's a really cool guy. And then we saw some of our friends like Justin Ryan, who I know has a YouTube channel. We saw him today, and we saw good old Goose from CK and Uncle Bill's neck of the woods. You guys have probably heard them mention Goose, and I think they've had Goose on a stream or, on shows and stuff like that. So, um, I didn't get to see John Cressup or Movie Junkie John because he didn't get to go like he wanted to. So, I hated to miss him, but those things happen unfortunately from time to time. Like last year, I really wanted to go to Scarefest and got broke and couldn't go, so I got to go this year. So I guess I see TJ's eating, but I don't think he'll mind if I go ahead and add him to the stream. So hey TJ, and you're welcome to eat on the stream if you want to. I don't have a rule about not eating because I eat on the streams all the time. So
I don't know. Garrett and the Dead Pit guys don't do it, so I might get in trouble.
We don't have to be as professional as they are. We can kind of be. I say I want things to be kind of loose and kind of free form around here. So if you want to eat, you want to drink something. I've even drank alcohol on here, so I can't.
I've seen it.
Red, actually, the captain is not streaming tonight. He's taking the night off. Sorry for the disappointment on that. Again, I probably would have started a little bit earlier because we got home in plenty of time from Scarefest for me to have started at 6. But then Steve kind of told me kind of late notice, and so I thought, oh, what the heck? I'm not going to go changing times on people. I'll just keep it at 7. I did get but I haven't had a chance to put this patch on my hat. But I did get my Evil Dead chick patch in, and I think it's going to have to go probably right about here because Steve said that's the only place it's going to look good. He said, because you got this big patch here right smack dab in the middle of your hat. So I think I'm going to get some fabric glue and put that sucker on there. And I see TJ's got a good guy's hat on. I can see what it is now. And I like the shirt too.
Yeah, I didn't have a trick or treat one, but this is
I like it though. It's pretty cool.
And Michael J. Fox was in a movie with Mark Price, so that works. I mean, a TV show with Mark Price.
Yes, he was. Yes, he definitely was. I always refer to this as the rock horror movie with Skippy from Family Ties. But he's definitely not playing a Skippy character on here, because on Family Ties, he was the kind of nerdy next door neighbor that was in love with Mallory. And he was always over at their house and stuff. And the character of Ragman in Trick or Treat is the furthest thing from Skippy I could I could say, they're just two polar opposites. So
But they're both kind of stalkers, so it's
kind of, yeah. So maybe Skippy was a closet metalhead or something, though, on Family Ties. We don't know that. He could have been rocking it out at home and just putting on the, well, he should have done the rocker thing, because Mallory ended up with Nick, and he was kind of a rocker type dude. So
yeah.
Let's see. Red, you say, I'm hoping to get to the DVR and watch Misery. I never saw it. Yeah, Misery that's an awesome one. You know how I am with the Stephen King stuff. I'm not gonna turn any of that down. Texas, you say, if Michael J. Fox played the serial killer in that show, it would have been Family Dies. Yeah, it would have been called Family Dies. Yeah. So, I mean, it might just be me and TJ tonight, which is cool. But if anybody wants to join in at any time, if you come in here later, John did say something about he might drop in. So, if anybody gets the itching that they want to be live on the stream for the watch along, feel free. I did want to mention, and I know Dirk if he comes in here or he listens to this later, he's going to be kind of disappointed in me, because I was just back there watching Terrifier 2 with Steve, and unfortunately it's so long that I had to come back here to do my watch along, so I didn't get all the way to the end. But I didn't hate it, but I thought it was a little, and this is me saying this, has seen a lot of gory movies. I thought, and Steve thought this too, that it was just overkill on the gore. We thought that they could have pulled it back just a tad. I thought it kind of made it a little bit silly. Instead of being scary, it was just like you're like he's ripping people's faces off and cutting their body parts off and pouring salt and bleach on them, and it's just too much. Why can't you just stab them in the throat or do something like that? This one chick, and I don't think I'm giving it, I mean, it's not giving any secrets away. I mean, he scalps her, he rips half of her face off, he hacks off one of her hands, and she's still alive after all of that stuff. I think he might have cut off a leg or something like that, and he just has her propped up on the bed after he's poured salt and bleach on her. And I'm like, I don't get the point of all of that. Now, if we were watching a Lucio Fulci movie and you got zombies ripping people's brains out and stuff like that, I get that. But I don't think that this movie needed to go so far in that direction. And it's too long.
It's over 2 hours.
Yeah. About 2.5 hours. That's way, way too long for a movie like that. They think they got to make everything too long anymore.
Well, the news is saying people are puking and watching the movie, and they're leaving sick. And
I mean, I didn't get sick, but I just thought, again, what's the point? What was the ultimate point? Unless you're just trying to gross people out, unless you actually want people throwing up in the aisles and, having to run for the bathroom in the theaters. And
not if I managed the theater, I wouldn't want that.
No. No, if you were the janitorial crew or the cleanup crew after that, I don't think I would want to do that. Um, Red says part one was terrible. Now, I like the first Terrifier. I thought, I thought Art the clown was scary and creepy and all of that. And the setups were good. And then you had a little bit of gore, but this just right out of the gate almost it seemed like, and it just kept going from there. And I didn't like the main girl's mom in this. She was always saying fuck and goddamn to her kids all the time. It's like what mother talks like that? I didn't grow up with a mother that talked like that.
Rob Zombie's mother.
Yeah, Rob Zombie's mother. Or a mother that he has in his films. Yeah, it's like, but this obviously wasn't like a white trash mama or anything like that. She was, but she kept talking to her, I guess maybe 16, 17-year-old daughter like that, and her 12-year-old son like that.
Mm.
And it's like, I've had enough of this shit. I'm sending you to the psychiatrist or whatever. It's like, you're messed up. What is wrong with you? But anyway, we're probably going to go ahead and get started here in a second. TJ, is there anything that you wanted to bring up before we get started with the movie?
Nah, not really. Oh, I brought my tongues.
All right, awesome.
I was gonna put them in my mouth with some blood, but I didn't have time. Everything was running late today, so I was gonna gross everybody out, but damn.
Well, we can do it another time. I have these watch-alongs all the time, so if you want to be on, it could even be after Halloween. We could have a gross out after Halloween.
Well, I won't tell you when it's gonna happen. So
there you go. That's the key. That's the key.
Oh, did you watch Joe Bob last night?
I did, and I actually sat through the whole thing. I watched Elvira's Haunted Hills and watched them interview Cassandra Peterson.
Yeah.
And then one of my all-time favorite horror movies, and evidently Darcy's too, Popcorn. And they interviewed Jill Schoen. So, yeah, it was, I thought it was good because sometimes you watch Joe Bob, and I don't think this is Joe Bob's fault, really, per se. He has to, pick from whatever movie Shudder's got, license to. So he's kind of, not painted into a corner, but he can't just say, I want this, this, and this. I don't want what Shudder's got. He kind of has to go with whatever they've got on the menu, so to speak. So, I know sometimes the movies are just but I thought this was a good double feature. Did you watch all of it, TJ?
Yeah, I was up till 2 a.m. I was like, oh, why am I up so late? Why is this going on? And all? But I watched. Cassandra Peterson pissed me off.
Oh, she did.
So I love her. Like, I get the cardboard cutout back here somewhere. And so they were talking about near the end of her interview, and they were talking about things she's been in that she wasn't as Elvira. And she brought up a movie which I was going to watch around Halloween, and she spoiled the ending, and I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, and she's like, she spoiled the ending. She's like, oh, I think I spoiled it. I'm like, yeah, I yelled at the TV. I was like,
I remember that now, yeah.
And I tweeted about it, and I tagged her, but she didn't care. So I still love her, but it's like, I wanted to, it would have been a good surprise, but no. Like when my friend spoiled Darcy was going to be in Halloween Ends, I'm like, it would have been nice if I'd seen it on my own.
Yeah.
But, so she ticked me off a little bit.
I try not to spoil things for people, but I think I've said this story before about my dad. My dad, bless his heart, he's a good guy, but there were two movies that my dad spoiled for me. And one was Carrie. and I had not even read the Stephen King book at that point. I
Right.
just knew that Carrie was a horror movie. I hadn't seen it. And just in Dad's mind, he thinks everybody's seen the same movies, I guess. So we were all, as a family, I know this sounds weird, but as a family, my family would watch a lot of horror movies after we got a VCR. You know, we were late adopters to a VCR. But when the VCR finally got to our house, we watched a ton of movies as a family. A lot of things that some families would not consider watching together. Um, so Carrie was one of them. And it got near the end of it, and Dad told me what happened. And my mom said, Daryl, she said, Dana has not seen this movie. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you saw this. And the other movie he spoiled for me was not a horror movie, but it did have Linda Blair and Martin Sheen in it, and it was Sweet Hostage. I don't know how many of you in here have seen Sweet Hostage. It was pretty much kind of like a TV type of movie where Martin Sheen plays a mentally ill guy who breaks out of the insane asylum or mental institution, whatever you want to call it, and kidnaps Linda Blair's character, but they fall in love with each other. And I'm not going to give away the ending to this, but my dad gave away the ending to that movie. And again, his response was, "Oh, you haven't seen this movie?" I'm like, "No, Dad, I have not." My dad has this other bad habit of brand new movies that nobody has seen yet. They're just getting ready to come out in the theaters. He will claim he's seen it. And we're like, Dad, you can't have seen it. It's just coming out in theaters. No, I saw that movie. No, you didn't. But I love my dad. He is a really good guy. So, oh, TJ, I did want to ask, how did your short film fare at the
Fine. I mean, they didn't do. One of the movies was like 25 minutes, so I think so they didn't do like a little Q&A and introduce the filmmakers in the block. So that was a little like annoying, but the audience seemed to be. There was two people talking, and it's like a 3-minute short. So these people are talking at the beginning of it. And my buddy's next to me, and he's looking over. He keeps looking over at them, and like he's like he wants to get up and like yell at them or something.
right.
They eventually shut up, but it was just like, what are you talking about over there? Watch the damn movies.
Yeah, that's kind of disrespectful. You know, if you're going to want to talk, then go stand outside in the hallway. Don't be in the screening room where they're showing a movie that somebody's worked hard on.
Yeah, they're having a discussion. I'm like, what are you talking about? And why are you in here? Get out if you're going to talk.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, it was fine. It was a small con. It was mostly about vendors more than celebrities. There was CJ Graham. There was 2 people from Elm Street 5. There was they had a screening of Elm Street 2, and Mark Patton was there.
Oh, that's awesome.
I didn't get to meet any. I wanted to meet Mark and CJ, but when we first got there, they weren't at their tables. And then by the time I had to go into the screening and got out of there, it was the screening ended when the event ended. So it was like, yeah. So yeah, but like, whatever. Maybe some other.
I met Mark Patton several years ago. Steve and I went to a convention, and I got to meet him, and he was really, really quiet guy, but really super nice and stuff. I would recommend, if you get a chance to meet him, that you go up and meet him. And I think CJ Graham was at Scarefest today, but I didn't recall seeing him. And somebody else that was supposed to be there, evidently, was Kane Hodder, and I didn't see him at all. And Kane Hodder's a person that you can't really miss seeing. He's
Yeah,
this
right.
big guy. But I sure didn't see him. But I saw, there were several people from Friday 7. There were people from Nightmare on Elm Street 4. I'm not. Return of the Living Dead people. I did see Linnea Quigley at her table, but I'd already met Linnea Quigley a few years back, and so I'm like, I'll be honest, I spent $60 getting an autograph and a picture with Michael Berryman. But what I told Steve, I leaned over to Steve and I said, well, maybe some of that money's going to that wolf sanctuary that Michael Berryman kind of talks about. He talked about it when he was on Joe Bob's show.
Yeah,
I remember. And I mean, it may all be going to him. I don't know. I don't hear of Michael Berryman being in I mean, he might be in some low budget stuff, and I don't catch all of that stuff. So he may be in stuff here and there, but I don't hear about him a lot being in things anymore. So what in the heck?
Jabber.
Oh Lord. Yeah, Steve did buy that. We did stop by the Orbit DVD booth. Orbit DVD, I think, is out of North Carolina, I believe. And whatever, see. But anyway, Steve got that and Martyrs. I'm like, really, Steve? I don't know. I don't even know if I want to sit through Martyrs again. I think the one experience years ago when that movie came out was enough for me, because that movie is just mind numbing.
I still haven't seen it yet. I got to see that.
Just prepare yourself, TJ, because it was like nothing I had ever seen before or since. And it's just very, I mean, it does literally, or
talking about H Jabber.
No, we're not talking about LAH Jabber. We're talking about Martyrs. But I literally was numb. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know what I had just seen. And I turned the movie off when it was over. I turned the DVD or whatever off.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there on my bed watching it, and I just was like, what in the hell did I just watch? I didn't know if it was good, it was bad, it was what. I still am not sure. Even several years later, I am not sure what I watched. The most bizarre film. No, I don't hate Martyrs, Texas. I don't hate it. I just don't know how to feel about it, really.
I know how you feel about some Bollywood horror.
Oh Lord.
You like Bollywood?
I don't know if Steve took his gummies or what. If that's why he keeps us. He told me he was going to take some gummies. So.
I'll take gummies live on your show.
Oh Lord. Well, we'll never get off here because Steve will be laughing. Are you really going to take them? Or
I'm going to take them off camera.
And then you're going to come on camera?
No. I'm just going to.
Steve, don't take too many of those. I mean,
1.5.
Don't old curly jaws it.
I think Steve needs to go to that 420 cafe or whatever that place over in New Albany that Old Curly Jaws was talking about.
I need to go to the 69 cafe, Dana.
No, you don't. My husband, everybody. Oh, hey, Dirk. Did you hear me talking about Terrifier 2 a little bit earlier?
Did you hear her talk about 69?
Would you go away? I told him he could be on the string if he wanted to, the Watchalong, but he said he didn't want to. But now he's back here saying all kinds of weird stuff. What, is your computer broken?
Dana. you know, I told you it wasn't something's going on with.
Because you were messing around with the VPN.
DNS is screwed up or something.
Okay, whatever. Okay.
No, whatever to you.
But anyway, again, everybody that's in here, if you want to come on the stream,
get 50 people in the stream, Dana.
No, I can't have 50 people. I could have 50 people on that, I guess.
I'm watching somebody on YouTube. It only has one viewer, and it's me. It's watching this stream. I found somebody on YouTube. I was just putting something on, and this guy's watching commercials from the 80s, and I'm like the only viewer.
Well, at least I got 6 people in here.
No, you're like 6 times as big as this.
So, okay, I'm going to answer Dirk here. Didn't hear about Terrifier 2. Now, Dirk, I hope you don't get upset with me. I'm going to give you the short version of it.
Good boy.
I didn't.
Terrifier 2, Art the Clown is actually trans, and you don't find out to the very end.
Steve, that better not be correct.
It's
okay.
True, he comes out as trans.
Okay. Anyway, I did not get all the way to the end of it because I had to come back here for my watch along. But I did watch a lot of it. And what I was telling TJ and some of the other people that were in the chat was Dark saying Terrifier 2 is great. Well, it could have been great, but I think they went overboard with the gore, and that you're talking to a person who's watched a lot of gory films. And Steve, you said that too, right?
Yeah, I mean, like everybody's a fan of ECW's Rhino. Everybody loves the gore, but
ECW's Rhino. What
was too much?
But again, Dirk, I didn't hate it, and I am going to finish up watching the rest of it later. But before we get started, I just want to remind everybody, if you want to come on at any time, even if it's audio only, I know what CK says. You need to be on video, but you don't have to do that, because I know not everybody has a webcam. Maybe their webcam broke. I mean, you know.
I'm using my phone.
There you go. But you know, as long as you don't come in here and start trolling, don't
come in here with an attitude.
I've never had anybody come in here with an attitude, but unless you're just being a troll and causing problems and you know, making people upset and talking about people's personal lives and stuff like that, and
about trans people.
Steve, we're not talking about trans people on here. Trans people are fine, but I'm not talking about them right now. Yes, Dirk, everyone pretty much does have a phone. But I just don't want to tell people that they have to be on video, because there was a time that I didn't ever want to be on video, hardly ever. And now I just don't pay attention to it. I just try to make sure I don't look at myself too much. What's wrong with your Medusa?
I think all the batteries have finally died.
Oh.
Shit.
She's broken. She's broken. Yes, she's not working, Steve. I got to get this watch along started. TJ's going to go to sleep on me if we don't get this thing. So if anybody wants to join at any time, they can. Just tell me to send them the link, and I will do that. But does anybody need me to repost the YouTube link for it? Or is everybody good that's going to be watching it? I'll wait a second or two to see if anybody...
Is that the one that was posted on September 23rd?
Heck, I don't know when I posted that.
No, I mean the video. That's the one I'm on right now on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, September 23rd, 2017.
Yeah, that's the one I found. Yeah.
Yeah. This one is actually under the Ragman title too. So this is the HD version, evidently. So I guess it'll be like varying, depending on what way you're watching it, whether you're watching on a big screen TV, you're watching on a computer monitor, whatever. And I just got mine queued up to the black screen right before the, the credits and all that start. Dirk, you say, hey, I just want to say fuck Jamie Lee Curtis and her ego. She's the reason the new Halloween sucked. So is there a new interview with Jamie Lee Curtis that I'm missing or something?
I think that's the whole thing with Danielle Harris and Scout Taylor Compton. With them meeting her and her supposedly not being that nice to them, and
I did see that
them saying it on their podcast and on their Twitter and on their Instagram.
I did see that picture where I guess Jamie Lee Curtis looks like she doesn't really want to be there.
There's an Instagram post.
Okay, see. An Italian penis. I got that for Steve a few years ago. So.
Good idea. Anyway, on Scout's Instagram, there was a picture of Danielle Harris dressed up like Jamie with the clown outfit, and it was I think it was the actual guy who played Art the Clown, and then Scout was on his back, and the caption said, "A movie I want to see." Which I'm guessing was a dig to Halloween Ends, and that she wants to see Danielle fight Art the Clown in a movie. So, which I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I kind of would. That's kind of an interesting thing. So Dirk says he would come on, but he's streaming later for about 5 hours.
He needs to rest.
Yeah, you should be asleep now, Dirk. Actually. I'm assuming he's going to go on with Pop and the other guys, and they're going to talk about their favorite movies in these different years. I forgot what years now. Dang, I'm terrible. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and
let's get going.
Switch over to the movie, and I'm going to do the 3, 2, 1 because I didn't hear anybody say, "Hey, repost the link, Dana." So if we're all ready, we're gonna go 3, 2, 1, press play. And I'm seeing the whatever this thing is, this logo.
Is that a lion? A bloody lion?
Yeah,
there we go.
The Laurentis Entertainment Group logo.
Dano De Laurentiis. He's Italian.
Yeah.
Ragman.
Bar price.
This is a terrible title, Ragman. I don't think the people would want to see that movie.
Yeah, actually, if you want my honest opinion on it, Trick or Treat is a better title.
Doug Savant.
And Gene Simmons. And Ozzy Osbourne's on here too. Yep. Special appearance by Ozzy Osbourne.
Because he's barely in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, she's pretty.
Dang, that's Sammy Kerr. This does have an awesome soundtrack.
I was reading up on Fastway, the two guys who put it together. I forget their names, but the guy Way was under contract with the company, and he couldn't. So he started the band, but he couldn't be in the band because he was under contract with another company. So they went on. They kept the name because it's two of the guys who created it. Their two names put together. Oh,
okay.
And then he ended up playing bass for Ozzy, I think it was. So it was weird. He was still, and that was like in the early '80s before this movie came out. That whole happened. So yeah, It's weird. You put a band together and like, oh, sorry, you can't be in that band. Sorry, bye. There's a little trivia for you people out there.
Yeah, we like trivia. I like trivia.
I just realized the closed captioning is in another language, so I'm not going to be able to read it. Oh, well.
Oh, well, if you want to have the sound turned up a little bit, that's okay, TJ.
Well, I know when other people do it, I get annoyed. So.
Oh.
I'd be a hypocrite if I turned this off.
I've got mine muted, but I've seen this movie a gazillion times, so I probably got the dialogue memorized for this movie. Now, his friend on here, I think, is the guy that did the Black Christmas remake.
Oh, really?
I could be wrong, but this blonde guy's the typical William Zabka clone.
I think that dude was on some kind of soap opera back in the day.
He was Steve told me what he was on, and he played a gay guy, I think.
I remember my mother used to watch it. I was like, oh, okay. Uh-oh. This is like Carrie. It starts out like Carrie.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a shower scene and we see some stuff, so, you know.
This, though, would be the ultimate humiliation, what they do to him here.
This is why I never went to gym class when I was in high school. Oh, but. Oh, you saw some ween. And it's not even Halloween yet. Now, who has a camera at gym class just hanging around?
Yeah, who has a Polaroid like one of them instant cameras?
This is pre-iPhone, so if they remade it, they could do the scene more. So they did that in the Carrie remake. They did the whole cell phone thing.
Yeah, see, they could put it all over Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. And
now, I think that would have got him dates instead of making him an outcast. None of those girls were like, high school girls in the 80s, come on.
I have no idea what Steve's watching back there. It sounds like some kind of heavy metal rock band.
Dear Santa.
He's got the word fuck in a letter to say. There you go.
I know I did. Meow.
Stop that. I'm going to have to get up and let the dogs out.
Dog fight. You get some Aussie stuff going on, eating a snake. That's good.
Sorry, guys. This happens every single time I do a stream. Every time. And then Steve just takes gummies and he doesn't watch the dog.
Dude's wasting electricity. He's got the TV on, but he's got his earphones on. He doesn't. Is that Connie Chung? Who is that?
It does look like Connie Chung. But now he's gonna watch it now because
yeah,
Amy Kerr's on there. He's gonna get upset now. That picture though is so great. I'm going back to the chat here to see what I missed was. Okay, Dirk says they're doing the years 86 through 90. Okay.
Well, let's talk about this movie.
Texas says Gene Simmons as Wimpy Leroy. Dirk says, my mom was dating a Jehovah's Witness when I first saw this movie. It was in his VHS collection. LOL. Oh my gosh. Texas says, wasn't that blonde guy named Richard Smoker?
Richard Smoker, yeah. You know what that means?
No.
Dick Smoker?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I'm a little slow. Okay.
Oh. This is Gene Simmons' lips. It's like that movie, The Warriors.
Yeah. Dirk says Blackie Lawless auditioned for the Sammy Kerr part and got it, but later turned it down because Fastway did the music. I think I heard that too.
Well, Gene didn't want to be in this, so they wanted him to be a bigger part, and they're like, he's like, no, just let me do this small role where I'm sort of in one room. And
Did
he based his character on Wolfman Jack, who was a popular radio guy back then.
I hate to say this, but didn't Gene Simmons kind of like get religion, so to speak, at one point in time in his life?
I don't know. I remember that show he had on with his wife and his kids. That didn't seem like he was. I think he believes in money. I think that's what he
money. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that about Gene Simmons.
He had the Kiss coffin, for crying out loud. I mean, come on, who's gonna buy that? He's like, you can use it for a cooler for your beer.
I did always like that movie Detroit Rock City that came out many moons ago. I always thought that was a fun movie. Steve never did like it that much, but he said he didn't care much for Kiss's music either.
Well, Kiss is more pop rock than hard rock. So
yeah,
I don't know ballads and everything.
Yeah, I don't know what all that stuff. Maybe it was some of their on stage antics or something. I don't know why parents were so like scared of them.
It was his tongue. It was longer than these, but he looks stoned.
Yeah, kind of.
Never released album.
It's 180 gram vinyl before there was 180 gram vinyl.
See, this movie's psychic. It knew stuff was going to happen.
Right. I knew people were going to go crazy over vinyl again at some point. It looks like he's giving him the White Album.
Well, it's a promo copy, so there's no
no cover art or anything.
Yeah. Is he in a box or is he really that tall?
I don't know.
I don't know how tall Mark Price is, but
Dirk's asking me if I like. I'm guessing, guys. I'm a little dense on things sometimes, but do you pronounce it wasp or are you surprised?
No, it's wasp.
It's wasp. Okay.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I say things and people are like, "What the hell are you talking about, Dana? Don't you even know how to say the name of these bands and stuff?"
Know how to say wasp?
I know how to say wasp. I didn't know if you pronounced it as wasp or you spelled out the letters. Like, here's how dense I am about music. REO Speedwagon. I thought it was Rio Speedwagon for a long time. See,
sorry.
I'll admit how dense I am about some things. And somebody said, "You mean REO Speedwagon?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's what I mean." I tried to kind of, get away from that topic a little bit. But I do like their music though. But I don't think I've listened to enough Wasp to be able to be a good judge of whether I like it or not. I would probably have to listen to it more. I wasn't a metalhead in school or anything like that. I was very late to the game. Were you, TJ?
Yeah. I can never grow my hair long because I always tried to grow the back of it, and I just would get the Carol Brady little curl. But then if I realized I could have grown my front the way I can now, I would have been like, oh, I should have just grown my hair in the front. But I was stupid then.
Well, I didn't know. I don't think I realized all the good music that was out there. I don't know. I was just a big nerd. I wouldn't know what was cool if it dropped out of the sky and hit me in the head, and I only, it took me years before I discovered, oh, there was all this great music out there and I missed out on it because I was stupid and I didn't pay attention.
Ooh, nudity.
Yeah.
Start counting the breasts for Joe Bob.
Yeah, we got to have a breast count.
Actually, I don't know if he's ever reviewed this movie. He must have, right?
I figure he did at one time or another.
Why would you go to a party knowing the bullies are going to be there?
Yeah, I guess because the one girl invited him and she was supposed to already be there, and she, I think her mom got there late with the car or something, and I guess if she had been there, they probably wouldn't have done this, but.
Now, is she really nice or is she just bitchy?
This one here, I think she's just bitchy. Because all she's doing is giving these guys enough time to get more aggravated and then do what they do here in a second.
Well, now she's telling him, well, you're a loser. You shouldn't be here. So leave nicely.
I mean, this is dangerous. This isn't just throwing him in the pool. They actually put a weight in his backpack and threw him in the pool.
This is not real life. This is a movie. I had a terrible time in high school, and this never happened.
Yeah.
One time a guy bashed my head into the hood of a car 5 times, but other than that, nothing like this happened.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, tragedy time for you.
And TJ,
I'll see
you're a
some
nice
saved.
guy. Why would somebody do that to you? Yeah, I guess because they're assholes. But
That's why.
that's the only explanation I got.
Yeah.
I never got, physically anybody would do anything to me, but we were talking about gym class. I was terrible at sports. I'm still terrible at sports. I'm very uncoordinated. I was the kid that they would always pick last. You know how they would always in gym class when they had you pick teams?
Yeah.
They'll have the most popular, most athletic people be the team captains. And I was always that one final person that nobody wanted to take for their team because I was so bad. And they would just make fun of me unmercifully when we would play sports. I was pretty good at basketball, but baseball, softball, anything, like that, too uncoordinated to play it.
I was either in the weight room or I went out and smoked. That's that was my gym class.
I wanted to avoid gym class at all costs, but I could never figure out a way to avoid it. They always made me attend. So
Nowadays, I don't even think they force you anymore to go to gym.
Well, that's good.
I think you can go to study hall or whatever, but I don't know.
Well, I had a tough time in study hall. I was so shy. Believe it or not, guys, I was shy back in like high school. And I would hardly say anything. I would walk around with my head down and all that stuff. And people made fun of me for it because they thought I was different. So some of the jocks and stuff would pick on me in study hall and stuff and wouldn't leave me alone. And so the teacher in study hall noticed that, and she helped me where I could get out of study hall and instead go to the library and help out in the library. And that was the best thing they could have done for me. Here we go with the backwards messages. So did anybody in here ever play their records backwards? I don't think I ever played my records backwards.
I had cassette tapes.
I had a lot of, I think my parents or my mom rather probably had more records growing up than I did. I probably had more cassette tapes actually. I would record things off the radio, and occasionally I would go to this place called Waxworks. And I would get cassette tapes because I was going to the orthodontist at the time. I was buying a lot of cassette tapes. And I had braces on for about 2.5 years. And so if you did a good job keeping your teeth clean and cleaning around all those brackets on your braces and stuff like that, they would eventually give you a card that you could take to Waxworks and get something there. And so I do remember buying a cassette tape of Poison, of the band Poison. And I wore that tape about out listening to it. That tells you how old I am, guys. I was listening to Poison. So
nice fall down the stairs. I have to clean this up now.
I love this scene though where they go to the library and everybody's trying to be all quiet and stuff. I spent a lot of my time in high school in the library. My free time was spent in the library. I told you I was a nerd.
Whoa! That went right upside that guy's head. Now, in real life, these teachers would be like, stop, you're going to detention. What are you letting them run through the school?
I don't think anybody ever used a fire extinguisher in the teacher's lounge or whatever this is.
And they don't get in trouble. I mean, come on.
I think they got on cleanup detail or detention or something like that, but it's not. You would think they would get something worse than that, like get suspended or something, you know, just sprayed down the teacher's lounge with the fire extinguisher. Dirk said, I was the poor white trash metalhead in a school full of preppies. LOL. There were a lot of preppies in my school too, unfortunately. And that's exactly what we called them, preppies. Dirk says, I was in the principal's office daily for fighting douchebag preppy bastards. I was never in the principal's office though, but I didn't get into fights, but I'll tell you, I saw some girl fights, and girl fights were a lot nastier than boy fights.
Those are like they are in the movie.
These
I think they're worse in real life than they are in the movie.
I had a friend in high school that this girl, I think it's funny now because this girl that got in a fight with her is real, like, super religious and tries to tell people how to live their life and stuff now. But back then, she was a real bitch and would pick fights with people all the time. So she picked a fight with one of my friends one time, and Stephanie grabbed this girl by her hair and rubbed her face up against the bricks outside the school. So I thought, well, bitch, I bet you never messed with her again. She just thought Stephanie was this little skinny girl that wasn't going to do anything. Stephanie took enough from her, and that was the end of that. So I think they both got suspended for fighting, though. Texas says, I had a turntable that you could put in neutral and play them backwards. There was some funny stuff on some of them. Hey, Menelect. Let's see. Guys, I'm trying to switch back and forth in the chat and the movie. I'm trying to do both. I just now noticed he's got a lava lamp in there.
Oh, yeah. Where are his parents?
I don't know if he's just got a mom. I don't know if they ever say what happened to the dad, if his parents are divorced. But his mom's dating somebody evidently, but I'm guessing his mom is not like my mom was. My mom was ever present. And I mean, my mom let us do pretty much what we wanted, like watching movies and whatever music we wanted to listen to. It wasn't like that, but she always just wanted to make sure we were safe.
I think 99% of horror movies, there's no parents usually. unless the movie's about something to do with the parents, and then it's like, oh, they're never around.
Yeah, and that's why bad things happen, because the parents ain't never around.
Well, that's when someone complains in a horror movie, why aren't the parents around? I'm usually like, because it's a movie and it's not supposed to be around, because it would make too much sense that they would stop things from happening, you think, but no.
There would be no horror movies if the parents were always around.
If people were smart, there would be no harm.
Yeah. What I want to know is, how's this kid afford all this fancy stereo equipment?
Well, if she is a single mother, maybe I don't know. I was trying to think of something logical. I couldn't think. Oh, there she is. There's Mom. She's been in a lot of movies. I know this.
Yeah, maybe some TV too. What I want to know is, what happened to this the girl that Ragman likes. I think her real name is Lisa Orgolini. I'm probably mispronouncing her name, but I want to know what happened to her.
Oh, that's right. She's in Motel Hell.
Yes,
she's part of the kinky couple that gets tied up.
Yes, that weird couple that thinks they're gonna swing with Farmer Vincent and Ida.
Yeah. Yeah, she did a lot of TV. A lot of TV.
Great.
That looks kind of like my industrial arts classroom, except we didn't have lockers in there.
Yeah, the girl, she did a bunch of TV too, but looks like she stopped working around 1998. She wasn't in anything that I've seen, except for this movie. Well, like Jill Sholin was saying on the Joe Bob last night, some people just do a couple of things and then they decide to not be in it anymore, or something happens,
right.
Or they're just like.
Jill Sholin quit the business after she found out she was pregnant.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is vicious.
He's a sociopath. He should be in
exactly
a padded room with the psychiatrist on him. Yeah.
But what happens to him here in a second kind of puts a scare into him a little bit.
Shush.
Sorry, guys.
Dog fight.
It's noisy around here.
Dog fight.
Jimmy, be quiet. Go sit down. You have to talk to these dogs like they're kids. That's why you don't wear ties.
This really, most people don't know that guy, the blonde guy, this traumatized him so much he moved to Melrose Place and became gay.
Melrose Place, that's it. Steve used to watch Melrose Place, guys.
Yeah, because they had hot chicks.
Whatever.
In the giga. Oh, this could have been a Lucio Fulci.
Yeah, could have been.
Now you owe him your life, and you should bow down. I just remember the early scene where he sees that Sammy Kerr died. There's a old lady talking about whatever. That was Large Marge from
Large
Pee-wee's
Marge,
Big Adventure.
yeah.
I was like, who is this? Oh, I know she is there. Because I had to look it up. I was like, oh, it's Large Marge.
I think Texas asked that a little bit earlier. Was that Large Marge on the TV?
Okay.
Well, Dirk, I didn't say that I didn't like Terrifier 2.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble now.
Yeah, I'm in trouble with Dirk now. I just thought that they could have possibly made it shorter and reeled it in on some of the violence or the gore, rather. But you feel it's the best one that's come out for the season. See, I can't give it that high praise, but like I say, you know, everybody likes different things, and that's what makes the world go round. And I'm not going to begrudge anybody liking anything. Even if you like Halloween Ends, I'm not going to begrudge you for that.
Nobody on this stream. I don't even want to hear about that movie anymore. I'm sick of it.
And you got to see it for free, right?
Yeah, still annoyed.
That's pretty bad. A movie has to be really bad.
I didn't hate every minute of it, but overall, and after I started thinking about what I watched, I was like, there's so much writing issues. Stuff starts out of nowhere. Stuff ends out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Michael stuff, I mean, everything just didn't work for me. I'm sorry, you know.
Well, I think it was maybe Darren that said it was like the Michael Myers stuff was tacked on, like it was an afterthought. Oh, we better put Michael Myers in here somewhere.
Well, there were reshoots. The scene where the two, Michael and the guy, killed the doctor and the nurse, that was originally just going to be Corey. And then they reshot it and they added Michael because I guess they were like, oh shit, we got to add some more Michael or people are going to get mad. I think someone said, it might have been one of the guys on the stream I watched the other day. They were like, they said kind of the same thing. And I was like, yeah. There's like, they just added Michael later. Like, you know.
Yeah. As an afterthought.
Yeah, oh yeah, we
made
need some Michael Myers
movie.
in this Halloween movie. Oh, whoops.
Well, I don't mind people, you know, if they can disagree and be nice about it, but people are getting kind of nasty. And that's when I mean, nobody really in the end gives a shit about what I think about something, but I did throw my 2 cents in there because I was like, it's okay if you like it or you don't like it or whatever, but when you start being nasty and name calling and stuff, whether somebody liked it or they didn't like it, there's no need to call people names and stuff. We can just politely agree to disagree on it. Like when you dub a record or something, does it actually go that fast? That's another thing I don't know. I guess I never dubbed anything or duplicated a record on a tape.
Yeah, I don't know if machines could do that. I mean, that looked like it was like a magical thing.
Yeah, that was movie magic.
Like even if you like, I guess you could set it to record fast. I don't know, like people watch things on 2 time sometimes to get through them faster. I don't know, but I don't know if you can actually do it that fast. That was a little.
Okay, so here's something I don't understand. While he's looking up this girl's skirt, that guy hates Eddie. Why would he take any tape and put it in his car? Because we're going to see this tape show up.
It's Pat Benatar. He went from heavy metal to that.
You can't keep him in the house.
Hey, she's in this movie.
Right?
Yeah.
Not until that door shut, that inner door. I don't know. That's kind of a weird thing. He asks her what she's wearing, and she says jeans, and he's like, "They're you." It's like, what is going on there?
He's feeling full of himself now, so yeah.
I guess he almost killed the asshole in school, and so. Oh, I have to let one of the other dogs out. When you have 5 dogs in the house, you're always letting one of them in the house.
He needs to up his cardio if he got tired that easy. They were just making out. I mean, geez. You're supposed to breathe through your nose.
It's like they all act like Eddie is a dumbass because he likes metal. And first, the guy took the tape and he put it in his car, and then his girlfriend is listening to it. So I don't know. I don't get it. I think these people are hypocrites.
Why is there one metalhead in the entire school system? That makes no sense.
All
It's
the
funny.
special
Oh,
effects of 1986.
It's funny. Audio devices got smaller, but the headphones got bigger.
Yeah.
Because now you got them covering your whole head.
Mm-hmm.
It's sexy metal.
It's so sexy, it's undressing her.
Hey. She needs to get that tooth fixed. This ghost is getting to third base.
It looks like he's trying to go for a home run here. A second.
Well, I think he's missing something, so I don't know if he can do it.
Probably not. I know what Steve would say. Her boobs aren't big enough.
But they're real.
Yeah.
It turns into a little finger. That's cute. Damn.
She ain't gonna like what she sees here in a second. There you go. He's mad because she started without him.
And 2, and 3, and 4.
Jay says Dana talking crazy with people agreeing to disagree. Okay. And Dirk says JLC is on my shit list now. The Laurie Strode trilogy just doesn't seem right, or is it just me? And Jay said it's not just you, Dirk. JLC, and then he's got $3 trilogy.
I mean, she didn't write it. I mean,
no, like you're right about that.
I mean, I know what he's saying, but you know.
Steve was watching. It was not the. I don't think it was the Shudder thing, like the scariest movie moments or horror movie moments or whatever, but it was some other thing, and I was like, "What in the hell is Jamie Lee Curtis doing on here? She never hardly wants to be interviewed by anybody." And Steve said, "Blumhouse is doing this one, Dana." I was like, "Well, yeah, there's the answer right there."
Wait.
She'll do it for them.
Publicity. It's all about the money.
Dirk says, yeah, that, and she threw in her agendas as well. And yes, she had David Gordon Green by the balls. That guy's a weenie anyway, in my opinion. I've seen him talk. Dirk says she had a lot of say, though, and that shit at the end on the porch was all her. Now, is everybody in now?
Yes.
Lord. It sounds like Steve's watching Halloween 3.
All right.
8 more days to Halloween.
My dad always hated that one. He hated when that one came on when I was growing up.
Well, people coming out with their lists of Halloween movies, and I would keep Halloween 3 out of that list because it's not a Michael Myers movie, and people are judging it by that. Like they have it so low on the list. I'm like, it can't be that low. It's not that compared to other movies. I don't think it's that quality wise, not Michael Myers wise.
Right.
So I would, if I'm gonna do my list of my favorite Halloween movies, I'm gonna leave 3 off of there, unless I'm gonna talk about Halloween movies in general, not the series.
Right. Yeah,
because that third movie is a Halloween movie, but not the Michael Myers Halloween, a Halloween themed movie.
Yeah,
I think if people would do that,
that's what John Carpenter wanted to originally do with the Halloween movies. It's the
producers, but no one wanted him to do that.
Yeah, the producers wanted more Michael Myers. They wanted Michael Myers, Michael Myers, Michael Myers. His idea was to change it up with every subsequent Halloween movie, and nobody wanted that. And I'll admit, the first time, and this is when I was real young, and I've talked about this a little bit before, I was disappointed because I thought it was going to be another Michael Myers movie because I'd seen the second one. The second one was on heavy rotation on television when I was growing up, especially around Halloween. The first one wasn't, but the second one was. So I was familiar with Michael Myers. And so then I noticed that Halloween 3 was going to be on TV. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is going to be more Michael Myers stuff. And I started watching. I was like, there's no Michael Myers in this. But it took me, a few years. I never hated it. I was just confused.
Yeah.
And then I came to realize that, oh yeah, I get what they're trying to do with this. It's just a different storyline with a Halloween theme to it.
I was a big Fangoria fan. I was collecting Fangoria years and years, and I would read stuff like that. So by the time when I first started watching the series, it was probably, I can't remember, but it was probably the 5th Halloween was out. And then I started reading back issues. So I knew that it wasn't about Michael before I saw that movie. So I already sort of had the heads up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, I do it, like, but I think you don't grow up at the same, or you don't watch it or read stuff. You don't know, this kind of thing. And then you get upset. And then you're like, oh, well, if you'd read it, but you didn't read it because you weren't. That's why I don't listen to reviews unless you're at least 25 or older.
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to your. I won't like put any stock in your review because I mean, unless you've watched a movie, 5 movies a day for like the last 5 years of your life, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I just don't think that, and I'm not meaning to say anything bad really about like Curly Jaw's generation, for instance.
What generation is that?
Is that Gen Z? I don't even know what we're in now. But some of these different generations, I think that they haven't had a chance to watch what I would call quality horror movies. All they've gotten to watch and grow up with is junk. That's there've been a few good things mixed in there. Who?
Erwin LeBlancs. We need him. More people like Erwin LeBlancs.
Do we?
Yeah, right, Dana?
Maybe. I don't know. I think the gummies are kicking in for Steve, but anyway. But I don't mean to really say they don't know a good movie when they see it, but they've just been kind of force-fed so much of this junk that they think that all this stuff is good, and they have no idea that other stuff is even out there. And I'm probably sounding like my parents did when stuff like, I don't know, maybe Scream or something came out, and Blair Witch Project and stuff like that. And some of those things, I was raving about those, when I got a little bit older. And my parents were probably thinking, what, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. But that's going to keep going on forever. The kids or the young people now, when they get older and have their kids, whatever generation that is, it's going to say, oh, you're old fogies, mom and dad. Yeah, you don't know what's good. And Lord knows what we'll have by that time. Talk about static electricity.
Now, if this was a musical, like on Broadway, he'd start singing right now.
Yeah.
Something about electricity and being not dead.
Right. Let's see. I'm looking at the chat here. Dirk says, yeah, Jay, with the whole mob shit, and then ends with the it takes a village to raise a child bullshit. Jay says, check out our daughter's wedding pics. Golly, her daughter's old enough to get married. I'm just like, I think I'm still, I just think I got stuck in time somewhere, and I just don't realize how much time has passed. and it's hard for me to wrap my head around some of this stuff. Dirk says, people treated Corey bad, therefore he turned into a killer because of the bully shit. Yeah, because that's what, I mean, not only are movies force feeding that, but I mean, that's what's on the news all the time. I mean, it's been on the news for years, you know, you bully kids, they're going to come back to the school and start killing people. We've been dealing with this for a long, long time. Even when my brother was in school, and he's been out of school a bunch of years now, but we didn't have this stuff going on when I was in high school. But when he was in high school, a boy got bullied unmercifully by this jock. So he brought a baseball bat to school and beat this kid almost to death with it because the other guy bullied him so much. So, you know, it's just kept going and going and getting more and more violent over the years. Dirk says, Dana, we're Gen X. Oh, Curly's Gen Z. Like Wes said, they've just been bottle fed shit. And Jay says, remember when older horror fans called slasher movies junk? Well, my dad always called them, he didn't call them slasher movies. He said, Dana, what do you want to watch all those cut up movies? That's what he called them. When I was watching all the Friday the 13th and all that stuff, he said, Dana, I get so tired of these cut up movies. What do you want to watch those for all the time? But that was my dad's take on that. And my mom doesn't like any of that stuff now either.
When you get older, you do things like add the to the title of things. Like, I'm going on the internet. I'm going to the Target later.
Yeah, right.
Give me some of that, the Coke.
This scene that's coming up after his friend Roger gets the tape out of Tim's car.
Mm-hmm.
And Tim's driving a dang Oldsmobile. Ain't that an old people's car? Why? I'm always thinking Oldsmobile's an old people's car. It's Oldsmobile. It sounds old. But anyway, I like this scene when he brings the cassette tape back to his house and then Sammy Kerr shows up. That whole scene is just hilarious to me.
Did he always have this outfit ready for the time he'd have to go rob a car?
Yeah.
With the hat and the he looks like Hooper from Jaws.
He does.
Oh, he's smooth. He just leave the hanger in the. Yeah, there you go.
I'm guessing Roger is technically a metalhead. He just doesn't look like a metalhead. He's a nerdy metalhead.
They haven't been over at each other's house once.
So, was he not over at Eddie's house like a little bit earlier, or have they?
Well, I thought they were either at school or on the phone. Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought they were. There was one scene, and I don't guess it was cut out of this version, where Roger comes over to Eddie's house, and Eddie's trying to get him to hear the message on there, and Roger says something about your cage is starting to rattle loose or something, and he says, I'm around if you need to talk. I thought that was earlier on.
Yeah. Actually, where are you? What's the timestamp right
now? Let's see here. 56 minutes and 49 seconds, or 50 seconds. Right?
Oh, okay.
Roger's making him a chocolate milk and peanut butter I guess like a milkshake type of thing.
Yum. Yeah, wipe off your crotch. There you go.
This is hilarious though when he pulls. I think he pulls Large Marge out of the TV, and she's like some dried up, burned out corn husk or something, and then you see Roger trying to vacuum her body up.
That was like in Poltergeist 3 where the little Carol Ann touches Tangina and she turns into charcoal. Also, I think Wes Craven stole this and put it in Shocker.
Yeah.
I just saw 2 movies right there that somebody stole from.
Something tells me that vacuum's not going to cut it. It's not going to vacuum up Large Marge. And here's the boyfriend. I guess he's supposed to be Rambo. And she's supposed to be Madonna. Boy, if this was my neighborhood, you'd need a lot more candy than that.
What? No full bars? What kind of house is this? I don't want no Smarties.
I get the good stuff.
Snickers and Three Musketeers and.
Oh yeah, all the good stuff. Kit Kat.
The Pregnant Nun. That's a good one.
Roger's a little jumpy.
This is early rap. I could be wrong, but this is like a good Halloween party at school where it looks like the kids actually put their costumes together, unlike the other movies where it's like you can tell a studio got them from wardrobe and they dressed all the kids up.
This is like bring your own Halloween costume.
Yeah, like Jim Carrey in Once Bitten. That dance they didn't dress themselves. That's ridiculous.
Hey, 71. So we got about 7 people in here now, plus me and TJ. So Dirk says I'm ready for the deer woods, but it's too damn hot here. Primitive arm started today. Yeah, it was too damn hot here too, and I would have liked it been a little bit cooler.
Come back tomorrow. Tell him you're grounded.
I don't know why he didn't just tell her he was grounded. I mean, why you got to keep that a secret? Why you got to say you're sick?
Give this kid some candy.
That kid cashed in.
It's like those idiots who put out a bowl and say, "Take one, I'll take 3."
Yeah, I mean, you get, as far as I'm concerned, if you do that and you're going to be a lazy ass and do that, then you deserve what you get.
I mean, if you're not going to be home, I mean, and you don't want to get your windows soaked or TP in your tree.
Well, I used to, when I would hand out candy, I used to just hold out the bowl and let them get what they wanted. But I discovered really quickly that the kids that get there the earliest, they're going to take all your freaking candy. So what I started doing now, like the last few years, is I fix bags up and I put a piece of each kind of candy that I've got, and I get tons.
Yeah.
And so they get this big bag filled with candy. And when they come up there and hold out their bags or whatever, I just put one of the bags in each of their little trick or treat bags or containers or whatever they've got.
Oh.
I've been watching a lot of like Sean Clark stuff on YouTube. He's got his own channel, and like he did the trick or treat filming locations.
Oh, him, yeah.
Long ago.
Ooh. Why'd you get up there, kid?
There's the director of the movie playing the principal or a teacher or whatever.
Okay.
And now you're going to see Kevin Yeager. There
I was going to say that.
I stole TJ's thunder.
Waiting the whole movie to say that. He's barely in it, but that's a terrible wig.
I know that. What's this like Bon Jovi like wig they got on?
Same people that gave Lori her wig in Halloween too.
Yeah, evidently.
It's also like Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2, where she's burnt and she comes back at the dance. This is every movie after this stole.
They stole everything from Trick or Treat. I think Sammy Kerr's going to go to the leather bar after this.
Rob Shea's going to give him a drink, and
Exactly. He's going to meet up with Jesse.
he's to get the Driller Killer from Summer Party Massacre 2, and they're going to start a new band together.
Yeah. And the guy from Rocktober Blood.
And Thor from Rock and Roll Nightmare. They need him.
Yeah. They can get all those guys and make a new band.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, they could get those guys from Black Roses also.
Well, they already had a whole band, so I mean.
I guess they could steal the lead singer from that band. Damien or whatever his name was. What that girl says when she said he's better than the real Sammy. It's like, are you a traitor? You like Sammy, and now that he's supposedly dead, you like this new guy? Okay, now this scene coming up soon when Lisa Orgolini's character is like taking her hair down and all that stuff, and then Tim comes in here, and I guess he's gonna rape her, and he ends up like hitting her and knocking her down on the ground. It's like, how sadistic can you get?
Yeah, really, Sammy's the less evil guy in this whole movie.
I think Tim's more evil than Sammy.
He's the real villain of them. See, that's subtext. He's a terrible guitar player. I don't even think he knows what he's doing. That's not him. That's not his close up of his hands. That can't be. Yeah, see. Jesus. Well, this is like in Black Roses, where the band's playing and all the kids get turned into creatures.
Yeah.
See?
And then they're gonna all run out and be demons.
See, everything came after this movie. Yeah. Ah, there's the teacher. Oh well.
And the director. He can't finish this movie.
Smart.
I just noticed they had a disco ball in there. I don't think these kids will like disco balls.
It's an old school. That was there from 20 years ago. 10 years ago, whatever.
That's the school from Carrie, and they left their disco ball.
That's what I was saying. What are you going to do? Karate him? What was going on there? Why is it any of your goddamn business?
Roger's upset.
I was thinking of Night of the Demons. Roger. Drink whenever you hear Roger. Drink whenever you hear Suzanne. Drink. Why is she not putting her top back on?
I don't know.
She just put it
She's
on,
just frozen.
lady. Now it's turned into a comedy. Disco lives.
That's
Now
what'll
he's getting
kill
ready.
Sammy Kerr. If they tell him disco lives, he'll just explode. That's just like
Whoa.
That guy's gonna be like, if he had been able to live within this movie, I'm sorry if I'm giving anything away, but he would have been a wife beater. That guy would have been a wife beater.
He's apologizing. I'm sorry. I almost attacked you. Sorry I slapped you in the face. Oops.
I'm sorry I busted your lip and your nose.
Uh-oh.
And even after all this, Eddie tries to help him.
He's a D-bag. Whoops. You know why the cops got there so fast? Because it's all white kids.
What do you want, Reggie? Reggie wants to say hello to everybody, I guess.
Hi. Sure.
No, Reggie, you're going to make me hit a button and then the lights are going to go out.
No, don't do it. Thanks for blowing it.
Roger went from totally wimping out to doing stupid stuff and almost getting himself killed. Reggie, you and Brandon don't need to get in close proximity to each other. Y'all get mad at each other when you do that. Reggie, what do you want? Reggie is a big baby. He can't stand to not get attention.
What is this movie? The guy who's dead, who's not even close to living in this area.
Oh, good Lord. 69 girls XYZs in here. Let's
Hey, babies.
These people are so annoying. Or these bots, I guess.
Who clicks on them and buys from them? I mean, like, that's the funny thing. Somebody must be doing it. And who are you,
Yeah.
sickos? Run! They have no idea you had anything involved. They're chasing you. There we go.
Yeah, the cops aren't looking for you guys.
They're gonna run into Jerry and Evil in the back.
Exactly. That does look like the alley where he was at.
Sure, I've heard about that. They also stole this idea from the Ring. The Ring stole from this movie too.
Every movie that came out after this stole from it.
People actually do that. They'll watch all the movies and then they'll watch a movie like this and they'll go, "Oh, this movie stole from them." And I'm like, "This movie's from '86. Those are from like later." It doesn't work that way.
But that's what the new generation be saying. No. Oh,
some of them do that, yeah. I usually scroll past them in the comment section. So they only paid him for 5 minutes in this movie.
And I bet they paid him a lot too. Lunch of the Dead.
I want to see that movie. Forget this movie. Let's watch that.
Lunch of the Dead sounds intriguing.
Oh no, don't. Don't stop, come back.
And believe it or not, guys, there's not a whole lot left of this movie. About an hour and 20 minutes in, it's an hour and 37 minutes and 12 seconds.
Whoops. I say this a lot, but they could have cut out a little bit from this movie, like 5 minutes maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
There's some dragging, but you know.
It is almost an hour and 40 minutes long. But nothing like the stuff now where they want to make everything 2.5, 3 hours long. I mean, I love horror movies, but seriously, most horror movies do not need to be 2 or more hours long. They just don't.
All that's left of his boots. There's a movie, Jurassic Shark, where the giant shark just jumps out of the water and goes across the screen, and all you see left of this woman is her boots. Don't watch that movie. It's terrible.
Did that, what's that company, Asylum? Did they put it out?
I don't know. I saw it on Riff Tracks first, and then I...
Some of these movies, that's the best way to watch them with Riff Tracks.
Yeah. I hope they do Halloween Ends. That's the only way I'd watch it again.
Right.
Or if you paid me, then I would watch it.
How much would they have to pay you, TJ, to watch it again?
So I'd never want to work again. So 10 mil.
There you go.
Give me 10 mil and I'll watch Halloween Ends again. I'll watch it twice. No. It's more dramatic that way.
It kind of got quiet in the living room, so I don't know if Steve went to go lay down. Usually
Maybe he
that's
passed
it.
out.
He already passed out from the gummies. No, he hollered from the living room. He said, "No, Dana." So I guess he's still in there. Uh-oh. There's a hole in his shower radio.
It's Jason. No.
Where in the hell is that light coming from in the shower?
Yeah, I don't know how. That's weird.
It's like there's a shaft of light coming in there.
It looks cool. That's
yeah. It was atmosphere.
A lot of things blow up in this movie.
Yeah.
Heads, cars, doors. Stop in the name of love.
Oh, throw a clothes hamper at him. That's good. I don't think you're going to be able to flush this dude down the toilet.
There's not that much suction. Come on.
Not in my toilet.
Fake pumpkins. Yeah, wait here. Brilliant. Oh, it's Poltergeist. Carol Ann's stuck in the TV again.
Oh, Dirk's saying top 5 films from 86 to 90 go. Nah, it's too late. It's too late at night now, Dirk. I can't. There used to be this joke between me and my boss when I had my first library job back home. And the thing was, I would say my brain stops working after 3 p.m. So anytime, I felt like my brain was turned to mush and somebody would ask me something, I'd be like, I don't know. Is it after 3 p.m.? My brain stops working after that. Dirk says, I watched Ends twice. It just made it worse. Don't need to waste any more precious time on that piece of shit.
I watched it once and it won't leave my head. People are like, I have to rewatch it. I'm like, no, I don't have to. I wish I didn't have. I wish it still wasn't stuck in there.
No. I'm not trying to offend anybody that said, hey, Dana, you need to go back and watch something. But I don't hate it all the time when somebody says that. But when they keep saying it, you got to go back and do this. No. It's just like TJ said, I don't have to do anything.
Well, if the cops weren't after them before, they stole a cop car.
Yeah.
I think this is the end of Shocker. I mean, doesn't the same thing?
I think Sean Clark actually did go to the place where this radio station supposedly supposed to be, but he said obviously, those letters were fake and all that. That was just a facade, which it looks pretty obvious that they were just stuck up there.
I'll have to watch that. I watched this video where he got the pillar from Hellraiser 2 and he was trying to get into his house. Oh, that was crazy. They were giving him trouble at the shipping place, and then when he finally got it, he couldn't get into his house without taking everything apart. And He's like, I have to leave it downstairs because I can't take it upstairs because what if I want to move? I won't be able to take this out of here.
Well, before I say this, I promise I'm not getting any money from Sean Clark. So by promoting, but Sean Clark is a really entertaining guy. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people now that do these filming locations types of things. And I mean, I'm not going to name names, but some of these people are so dry when they do them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Sean Clark's not like that. He actually makes them worth watching. He adds little things here and there. And
he's like a real fan too. He doesn't come off like
exactly.
He's just doing it to get views and whatever. Like I'm not primetime ready at all, so. Kill him already. How much longer is this movie?
Well, we got less than 10 minutes left by my count.
I hope my phone lasts. I was either plugging the phone or plugging the space heater. So I had to plug in the space.
Ah, gotcha. Well, we can't have you freezing to death now.
Yeah, well,
It's gotten pretty chilly back here in my old home office area.
I live like in a split level in the downstairs area where the entertainment area is cold because it's basically underground.
Ah.
So it's, yeah. What's great when it's really hot in the summer, and then I just it's like nice downstairs.
Now, Dirk, he's ribbing me now. I knew he would. He says, "Dang, that's true, but you really you need to go back and watch Hereditary again." Just kidding. LOL, not really. I just like jerking Dirk's chain, and he likes doing that to me a little bit too. So I know who I can joke with and who I can't about that kind of stuff. And he makes her stay there and count to what, 100?
Yeah, the bully's dead. You don't need him anymore.
Reggie. The movie's almost over, boy. You want my full attention, don't you?
Actually, there's about 4 minutes of credits, so it's actually almost over.
Right.
And this is early days before credits were 5 hours.
Oh, God, yes. That's the other thing about you cannot go to the movies and just simply get to the movie within a couple of minutes. You got to sit through freaking, not only do you have to sit through a 500,000 previews, but you also, at least the theaters around here in Louisville, you have to watch all these advertisements. It's like, when did commercials have to become a part of the theater going experience?
And animated production logo videos before the movie even starts.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, this is like the movie Demons, where they... Is he dead?
I sure hope so.
Remember these scenes? We're going to show you these again.
Yeah, there are, like, again, like I've said about other movies, there are a few scenes that they could have tightened up here and there.
Well, something I do whenever it's something like that, and then I complain, and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to see some deleted scenes. And then it's like, well, if those scenes were in the movie, it'd be even longer.
Yeah, I do that too.
Oh, they're in love or something. I don't know. Should he be dead too? Didn't he basically cause all this?
Yeah, technically. Playing his records backwards.
Like an evil speak. The kid doesn't get away with it. He gets killed. He dies.
Right.
Yay, it's over. Yay.
Yay. Well, I do hope everybody enjoyed that movie. Reg, you're going to have to get down. Oh. Reggie doesn't want me doing anything with the mouse or anything with the computer. Let's see. 71 says it's like they merged Star Trek, Amityville, and the Twilight Zone. And Dirk says Terrifier 2 had a $250,000 budget and is 10 times better than Ends. Well, I will agree it's 10 times better than Ends if we want to compare those two movies. That is definitely a gore fest for the fans. Who the fuck was Ends for? Oh, never mind. It was for Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh. Hey, I'm sure she bought a new house.
Yeah, she bought her a new summer home, or
because they weren't paying her. They gave her back end money, so she basically. I mean, they made money. I mean, regardless of whether you liked them or not, people. So they were like, "Oh, too bad it was on Peacock because they might have made more because those people would have went to the." I don't know if that's true, but that's what they were saying.
Right. I probably just wouldn't have watched it for a while because I wasn't going to go and pay to see that movie. I was not, because I did not have high hopes for it at all. But since we're complaining about Jamie Lee Curtis, let me tell my story about meeting Jamie Lee Curtis. And guys,
I love her. If she's watching this, I love you, Jamie Lee.
I love Jamie Lee Curtis.
I can write scripts.
I'll forever love Jamie Lee Curtis and have respect for all the horror movies that she was in. Okay. She was a scream queen, you know.
And The Parent, no, not The Parent Trap. What was that other Disney movie she did? What was that? Freaky Friday. There you go.
Freaky Friday. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. But my experience was a little bit weird when I did get to meet her, because it wasn't due to anything that was really her fault. But you know how these things go whenever you have to get tickets to even be able to get in line and get somebody's autograph.
Yeah.
And it was like, those were $80 an autograph. It'd be 2 or 3 times that now, I'm sure. So me and Steve were dating at the time. And so I took my break at work so I could get on there as soon as they started selling those Jamie Lee Curtis autograph tickets. And I got a ticket for me, a ticket for Steve, and just plunked down $160 or something like that. That was just in 2 seconds, you know. And so of course, we weren't the lucky ones even though I was there and ready and said, "Ooh, getting 2 tickets real fast." There was 100,000 other people. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but there was a bunch of people all there poised and ready. And I'm sure some people had faster internet than I had at the time at work. So, naturally, a bunch more people got ahead of me and got their tickets first. So they got to meet Jamie Lee Curtis first when she was fresh. It was daytime. And they said when she first started doing it, she was able to spend a little more time with each person that came up to meet her and get something signed. So by the time Steve and I got to see her, we were in this long ass line. It was about, I'd say 10:30 at night. And she had been freaking signing stuff all day long, with barely time to eat, I would imagine. So by the time I got up there, this guy, bless his heart, he was the nicest guy that was in front of me. He was buying everybody alcoholic drinks in the line and all, offering to do all this stuff. But he had 18 million posters or something that he wanted signed. God knows what the amount of money he spent. So for whatever reason, when he got ready to pick up all his shit and take it with him, he dropped all these poster tubes all over the stage right in front of Jamie Lee Curtis's table. So I have to wait for this guy to pick up all his shit and move out of the way. That flustered Jamie Lee Curtis. Plus, she had somebody talking in her ear saying, "Oh, you got to get these people through this line, because you got a Q&A right after this." I'm like, who in the hell does a Q&A at 11 o'clock midnight? I mean, why would they do that? Why didn't they do that in the day sometime? But anyway, so she was all flustered. I don't even think she knew I was there. I barely got to blurt out, "It's nice to meet you, Jamie Lee Curtis, Miss Curtis," or whatever I said. And "I love all your work. And can you sign this for me?" And that was about it. And I was just like a herd of cattle, just, out there. And then Steve said, "Well, I got a little more time with her." I said, "Well, you're lucky I didn't," because all that mess. And like I said, bless that guy's heart. It wasn't really his fault. It was just one of those unfortunate things that happen sometimes. I mean, it could have been me that dropped a bunch of shit on the stage. He got the bad luck of the draw there.
I dropped my phone.
Uh-oh. I don't see TJ. Well, I'll see his
My phone's
hand.
balancing on a box, so that's I broke my tripod.
So. 71 says she looks a bit uptight.
Well, she's old.
She's old and crotchety.
And she's tired of this.
Dirk says, "Fuck JLC. She wouldn't be shit without her parents and Carpenter." And evidently, Mick
says that.
Evidently, Mick Garris, from what Steve told me, she owes a lot of her career, I guess, after Halloween to Mick Garris. And I forgot exactly what Steve was listening to, some interview or something that was done. The TCM channel, Red, I don't have the traditional stuff anymore, like the cable.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Or I'm not sure if he means Turner.
I think he means Turner Classic Movies.
Or I didn't know if he meant that, or he had some letters reversed and meant the movie channel. But is the movie channel even still around?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
They have 50 million HBOs, but I don't think they have the movie channel.
Yeah, there's like Encore and Stars and HBO.
Everybody's trying to get a piece of the pie there. No, I didn't fall 71. Thank you.
I'm glad he didn't fall, because that might have hurt.
And I didn't break my phone, so that's the important thing.
Yes. Oh, speaking of phones, I saw a guy drop his phone on the hard floor at the convention today. Ooh. And I was like, ouch. Because I'd be crying if I don't even have my phone paid off yet, so I would definitely be crying if I dropped it.
I hope he has the case in insurance, just in case.
I do have insurance on my phone because
Yeah.
the guy, when I got it at the AT&T store, the guy told me, he said, please, he said, get the insurance. He said, I cannot tell you how many people have walked out of here with their new phone and dropped them and broke them in the parking lot.
I'm clumsy as F, so
I am too.
I have to get stuff that I'm going to want to keep for a long time that I have to insure it somehow or it's not going to last.
Right. So, TJ, is there anything you want to bring up? I was just going to try to, if not, I was going to try to tie things up so Dirk
Watch
can
my
get
short
on.
I just put up Friday on my channel.
I did watch you eating the monster cereal.
What did you think about that? I should edit it down because there's a lot of funny stuff, but it's like it's a long video and some of the stuff is just me going.
Well, I wasn't sure if you were gonna throw up at some point.
I was fine.
Like,
I wanted real food after that because I just.
Wow, I would have threw up for sure. I've got some Count Chocula back in the kitchen, and I'll eat a bowl of it. But there's no way that I could eat the whole entire box.
I was stoned. I was on a sugar high, so I was like,
oh.
that was fun. And my friends wanted me to do it every year, doing a different cereal, but I was like, I don't want my kidneys to last. I don't know if I can keep doing that.
I mean, how did you feel like the next day or anything? Did you have any after effects or anything?
I don't think so. No, I think, well, I had some, I don't want to bring it up on, there was some discoloration of some things because that blue dye, but
well, I'll tell you what, and people are like, they're just why do you like this, Dana? But I like jelly beans at Easter time anyway, but I especially like the licorice, the black jelly beans. Mm-hmm. And so I invariably end up eating too many of them. It causes some discoloration. So I'm not going to go into details, but just to tell you, don't eat too many licorice jelly beans. Not really good for the old gastric system, digestive system, and all that.
So I did a little short movie. It's not, it's not nothing, it's not like a thought-provoking story. It's just like a quick thing that I put together. So yeah, watch it. Give me some views, Dan.
Everybody watch that and give.
It's literally a minute and 10 seconds. I think you have that too much time.
71 says, ever since you brought up Count Chocula, I've been thinking about it, and I hate sugar cereals. Well, I used to think that, when I was a kid, I didn't think that adults ever ate sugar cereals, That was a kid thing. Now I'm 46 years old, and I'm eating sugar cereals. So,
shouldn't eat it all the time, but, it's once in a while.
And I'm diabetic. I really shouldn't be eating.
Oh, yeah.
That. So I have to try to, keep it down to a minimum. But I do, a lot of people think, especially if they don't have diabetes themselves or nobody in their family has diabetes, they think once you get diagnosed with diabetes, your sugar days are over. You can't have any sugar ever unless you have a low blood sugar. But that's really not true, because the thing I learned and what doctors and nurses have told me over the years, they learn new things all the time about stuff like diabetes. And what they have said is sugar is essentially a carbohydrate. We all know that. We know that from our health classes. So what I have learned to do over time is, like, you could have the carbohydrates in your sugar, or you can have that baked potato with your meal. You just got to learn how to, like, switch them out. If you want to have a small piece of cake later after you have your meal, then don't have a baked potato with your steak. That's, you can just switch it up a little bit. The tongues are coming out.
Yeah, I haven't opened the package, so I didn't know what it was going to feel. I mean, I had a feeling what it was going to feel like, but I don't want to be dried up before my Halloween costume.
71 says somebody just commented about the Amityville in space that it was filmed in a garage. LOL. Oh God. They're shot on video and then they're shot in somebody's garage. I mean,
Most of my shorts are shot at my house because that's all I can afford.
Well, nothing wrong with that. But you got to put, and I think TJ would agree with me on this, you got to put some thought process into the stuff that you make, or else it's just going to be garbage that nobody's going to watch. You got to make it
Things. Or like the movie Things.
Exactly.
They put some thought in that, I guess.
Gosh, I've seen that movie. I don't know how much thought that guy.
I've seen it about 5 times.
Oh, I haven't seen it that many times.
Riff Tracks did one of that too. They did a Things.
Riff Tracks. Did they for that?
Yeah.
Now people make fun of me for I enjoy bad movies though sometimes, and like stuff like Terror at 10 Killer, The Last Slumber Party. Those are not good movies. I'm not going to lie to anybody and tell anybody that those are good movies. But are they fun movies? Yes, they are fun movies. And let me tell you, in the case of those two movies, Riff Tracks has done a thing for both of those. And the Terror at 10 Killer one, I laugh until I'm almost crying every time I listen to them talk about that movie.
Yeah.
But I think it's getting close to 9:30, so I could probably ramble on here a long time, but I'm not going to, because this girl's going to need to get some rest, and I'm sure that TJ's going to need to get some rest. And
damn Joe Bob.
Right.
It seemed like the longer. I guess the show is usually that long, but it just seemed longer. I mean, I was enjoying it. I was actually. The second movie, Garrett came on, so I know the movie, so I was just waiting for Joe Bob. So while I wasn't watching the movie part, I was hanging out with Garrett on his stream. And he's like, "Oh, Joe Bob's on. That's right. Thanks for coming over." While Joe Bob was on, I was like, "Sure."
So what was Garrett doing a stream?
Okay, now you're gonna have me remember. He was doing like a general talking about different things. I can't remember. See, because I was up till 4 a.m.
Yeah, you get kind of loopy at some point.
Yeah.
I tried to go to sleep, and I was having trouble going to sleep anyway. And then when I finally did go to sleep, I had nightmares. And Steve made fun of me. I said, adults can have nightmares too, Steve, and they can be scary. Adult level nightmares, yes, those can be scary. So I usually have them about somebody chasing me, or, something like that. Somebody's trying to hurt me, or somebody in my family, or something like that. And they are scary. And so I was having those type of nightmares. So I was up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning watching Roseanne, old episodes of Roseanne, just because I wanted something funny and light to watch, because I just come out of this nightmare. And it's, you just got to turn some light on and watch something light. You don't want to put in a horror movie after you just woke up from a nightmare where somebody's chasing you with a knife or whatever, meat cleaver, whatever.
Yeah.
But Steve acted like I was being a big baby because I said I had nightmares, and I'm like, I don't think adults are immune from having nightmares. Not that I know of. But I guess with all that being said, I guess I'm going to call it a night on here. I want to thank TJ for being on the stream with me.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
He's becoming a regular on these watch-alongs, at least, with me. So I kind of thought old Curly Jaws might have slipped in here and wanted to be on, but I think the biggest group we had was Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. There were several of you guys in here that night. And maybe I'm just not picking the right movie. I don't know.
Well, it's October. Everybody's busy on the weekends with.
Yeah, maybe we get into November, it'll
cons and whatever, and people with kids and all that crap.
Yeah, it could be. Texas said it was fun. Well, I'm glad you guys had fun, and
yeah, that's what I thought. Texas said he's probably in a coma.
Curly Jaws is probably in a coma. Yeah. Dirk said always a fun time. Well, you guys keep me sane. You truly keep me sane and keep me wanting to do these things, because if nobody ever came around or nobody ever wanted to be on the stream with me, I'd be sad. And I would just say, well, I'm not going to do these anymore. So with all that being said, I am going to skedaddle on out of here for the night, and I will see everybody on the flip side. And thanks again, TJ.
Thank you. Night.
Night.